Hello everyone, so today I'm sharing you updates from Microsoft Build 2024 day 1. Was pretty interesting event. I was kind of surprised, mostly because I was a big fan of Microsoft 15 years ago. When I did my certifications and everything, then I moved on. And with this keynote, I was basically ecstatic where Microsoft is moving with AI, tools, integrations, open platform. Windows is kind of interesting theoretically. Like how I see it, they are bundling everything together. I would worry if I would be Slack, Teams, Zoom, partially Apple, because again, this AI machine with kind of OpenAI features at your fingertips would be pretty interesting competition. I mean, it will speed up operations and everything. So again, let me slowly go over things which I've seen. So keynote was again pretty interesting. A few key people from Microsoft spoke there. Satya Nadella shared about AI, OpenAI collaboration, Microsoft OpenAI services from Azure, LLMs, of course, as SMLs. So SMLs is again, it was a learning for me, small language models. Okay, I did some typos there. Basically sounds like you can take these small language models and use them for a specific job. So they are much faster, much cheaper to run. They provide you interference. It's a small fraction of cost. Of course, some of the models which surprised me, you can run on premises or on your local device, low school, Microsoft 365. Again, benefits from all of this, from your company data integrations and many other benefits. So you can, in one place, you could see and act on many things. So and Microsoft builds platforms for others to build on, which is a very cool statement and sounds like they actually pushing to it. Of course, Copilots was another interesting talk where and Copilots are everywhere. At the beginning I thought it's more or less like one or two things. They told me on one of the booths it was like 80 plus Copilots, assistants in a sense. So they're like everywhere in GitHub, Microsoft 365, Outlook, SharePoint, Edge, Windows. Many of them are already like have native integrations, and what is funny and interesting, Extensibility is coming there into a very quick pace. And of course, we are playing with this, and sounds like a good opportunity for us, company who focuses on integration of Microsoft and Atlassian, and do something cool. Azure DevOps doesn't have them yet because they didn't have them. Basically, Copilots are pretty cool, and you can build very cool experience, at least from demos they showed. The funny stuff is coming. And GitHub, of course, is there. We do have our current apps, and they could be extending Copilots. I do feel that there is a bit more hype in reality than it is, because at the end it's some kind of bots, but what surprised me is that some of the things pretty smart. So you can build an extension, provide set of APIs with OpenAI or kind of Swagger-like things, and you don't need to tell actually if you name APIs parameters well, which endpoint needs to be called and for which intent, which kind of pretty interesting. So there is some smart stuff there. So you don't need to map and say, okay, if people have this intent, call that API. It's more like you provide API descriptions, what it could be called, I think it's API scheme, and then actually Copilot will figure out what needs to be called and then when. If it works, sounds freaking exciting and unbelievable to some extent. Then, of course, I signed us up for GitHub Copilot Workspace extension program. So basically, there is this Copilot for Teams, which looks pretty cool. So it will help you be much more productive, like do PRs, create code for you, create documentation, automate issues. Like, and if it works and people adapt it, so productivity of developers will be freaking fast. Another stat they shared that Copilot for GitHub was adopted by nearly 2 million developers, which is insane. Developers are cool people. Of course, I talked to different experts from Microsoft, very cool. Another stuff I learned was, I didn't know that there are like AI-related security threats. Prompt injection attacks sounds interesting, like a new SQL, NoSQL, JavaScript as injections, but now prompt injection. Because people sometimes take input from chats or whatever and just pass it to your APIs, and fun could be in. Hallucination detection, which is pretty interesting. Like, I didn't know this, but during the lunch we talked to a few interesting people, and it appears that hallucination detection is when AI cannot tell you I don't know, but it just tries to come up with bullshit stuff, and which may look like very believable. So because it's called hallucination, pretty interesting. And I went to a session where GitHub shared how they build Copilot. Looks exciting. Extensibility and third-party apps are one of the interesting parts here. As you see, Copilots are like ADA extensions, Visual Code, Visual Studio, GitHub CLI, GitHub Mobile, and GitHub.com. So looks pretty crazy. If you do this one integration, you will be used everywhere. Sounds very promising. They claim it's on top of Azure as well. Very interesting. Another subject which I attended is Microsoft Defenders. So with Defenders, I just faced them when they blocked our applications. So I came and talked to the booth, to group PM at Microsoft, Karen, and she said that there are many Defenders. Some of them are extensible. They are kind of still building the platform, and there are Defenders for everything, like network, Microsoft 365, networks, PCs, Azure, and so on, which is Azure DevOps and so on. Funny session I attended to mix up a bit. I went to BMW and Azure, where they shared how they build their mobile applications, connected cars, how they update them over the air. What surprised me is that they have more than 30 million. They claim to be number one fleet in the world with connected cars because they have Mini, Rolls-Royce, and BMW. So they shared like the DevOps platform. It is built GitHub Actions and so on. They have like pretty interesting stuff there. What I actually liked a lot, that their vehicles are not connected to the cloud. So basically, I think it's for big security reasons. You see like Azure DevOps for mobile apps, but actually vehicles have more protected data centers and so on, which makes sense. We don't want things to go nuts. What was interesting as well, they like DevOps platform serves 2,000 developers, so it's basically pretty big organization on the BMW side. All of it in Kubernetes and Azure DevOps. Here's some challenges they faced when they adopted Kubernetes, and it was too many options. As always, like things could be done many ways, and basically makes people decide and get tired of those decisions. Learning core for developers, finding the right talent, and of course onboarding employees, which was pretty interesting to see. Then Microsoft jumped in under the talk and then shared that they outsourced Microsoft Retina for like networking observability and so on. Interesting stuff. More relevant to us, and I went to see how people or how we can extend Copilot, and they showed that there are 3 ways today. Microsoft extension plugins for Teams, which again I will attend the next day. This talk and see it more in action and look for some demos. Copilot Studio plugins and API plugins, and this is like very close to the Teams. This looks exciting. What surprised me a lot that you actually can build plugins or Copilot extensions which talk to each other, which do some actions for you. You can, for example, ask a question which the answer is stored in some Excel file somewhere, and this could be an input for another extension. For example, I don't know, bill. An example was on the talk, bill my hours for that client. Basically, they were somewhere in Excel, and you need to call external system to build. And looks promising. Of course, we don't know where it is at the moment, but it looks promising. There are some early access program which I rolled us in, and today I will take tomorrow more talks. So comment down if you want to know something more. But overall, it's pretty exciting time to be building shit, and we must build. So let's have some fun. Hello everyone, today is another day of Microsoft build. It was very interesting. So first I started my day by walking at night in the Seattle downtown. I was actually shocked and surprised yet again from zombies, drug addicts, homeless people. There are like hundreds of them. They look basically very desperate and so on, and sleeping everywhere, like on the streets and bunches and corners. But overall, let's jump back into the conference. So the keynote started with like Microsoft CTO and other guys introducing GitHub Workspaces, Azure DevOps databases, partnership with Snowflake, and other stuff, talking about data lakes, data integration, and so on. They did very cool demo, which probably you will see as well, from GitHub Copilot Workspaces, where it can do magic. It can write for your code, write tests, update docs, change front end, back end. Looks insane. It's a private beta now. I sign up. Hopefully you'll see it soon. Looked very interesting. Another cool demo was about Copilot for Visual Code and Azure. So it's basically like Azure bot. You can query stuff, update stuff, get data. Looks very helpful as well. Interesting. On top of this, I saw that we can build Copilots for our website, public tools, support, onboarding, and while many other things. So we will play with this stuff. and share further. And here's the data which could be used in Copilot things and on-premises, custom connectors, at last in Azure DevOps, and so on, which looks pretty surprisingly cool. Another funny stuff was Midnight Blizzard, where they talked about security, how Russian-based threat actors sponsored by the government attacked United States, UK, Europe, and Ukraine, primarily, mostly to get intelligence, get technology, and you see like it looks pretty interesting. And what Microsoft is doing to protect, and how we should think about this as well and all the time, because no one sleeps, no one cares how you run your software. It's either on premises, on cloud, and who manages it doesn't matter. As soon as it's out there, accessible, you will have some fun with Midnight Blizzards from Russia. And we had very good conversations with Microsoft teams, Copilot teams, GitHub teams, and Azure DevOps teams. We built some crazy stuff with them, very nice. I also attended a lab where we built a Copilot extension for Microsoft Teams in 20 minutes, which was super crazy. Like the idea was you have your inventory of products which stored on Excel file, I believe, and then you could write me sales email for that particular vendor about this product, or like this stock inventory mail, or and so on. Like basically it's a combination of data from your third-party sources with power of ChatGPT models. And you can try it yourself, basically go into this link, you see like Teams Copilot plugin sample, and after we lap it will be here. It's again GitHub rep and so on. It's pretty interesting, so play with it, it's pretty straightforward. GitHub Advanced Security was very nice as well, some nice demos. You can enable it very easy, like with just one checkbox, and it will scan for your passwords, leaked secrets, and so on, and your whole commit history. One hint, you can fix this vulnerability by only changing or revoking actually the tokens, or removing users and so on. So it's potentially highly impactful issue, but also GitHub Advanced Security can prevent you actually from pushing this stuff, basically. And it works in Copilots, command line, mobile, and web applications. And the demo was here, it's in our internal blog. And another interesting part was again extending Microsoft Teams and with Copilot, so you can do it in Copilot Studio. It's not only the Microsoft Teams, it's for many things, like it's low-code plugins, configurations, UI stuff. You also can do message extensions for Microsoft Teams mostly, and Teams Toolkit, and make plugins as well. Not today built, you can make API plugins, which is pretty decent. And here you can see Office Dev Copilot for MS65 plugin samples, and there are some of them. And this is like Northwind inventory, which I was talking about. It was part of the lab as well. Prompt book, you can use this as well, and it's pretty interesting. You look at the security Copilot. And other stuff I forgot to mention probably about Keynote. It was some part about keeping Copilot secure, monitored, moderated, and Microsoft built tons of tools to help you don't have prompt ejections, remove hallucinations, moderate data, have quality control of your Copilots. It looks pretty advanced, and I believe it will evolve in the rapid pace. And here Copilot extensions, you can use your Copilot, you can do plugins and connectors, and so on. It looks crazy. And another piece was about Microsoft Teams. We do want, in our applications, we use Teams loads, and very cool feature which we wanted for last 2 years was announced is a feedback collector. So now in Microsoft Teams, you can actually ask for feedback, see like how people like it or not, and hopefully you can improve experience for your end users. And we will be jumping in this and releasing this, I believe, in June for sure. And then there are a few other features for Teams, because I attended Teams talk as well. It was like streaming replies, and it's more or less to connect it with ChatGPT, because ChatGPT and similar models, they often or always actually reply in slowly, like people typing. So you can just stream your replies directly to Microsoft Teams, and people don't feel the lag in the reply. Citation and AI-generated labels as well, related that you can theoretically use more models and artificial intelligence to combine with your data to get something useful for your end users. And prompt starters to solve cold start issue or empty state, card updates for Teams and other stuff, adaptive cards, and we use them heavily. Copilot checklist, it's more like if you want to build a Copilot, ensure that you use sign-on, it's secure, you have enough functionality, and then you have feedback loop labels and all that stuff which I just showed you before. And it's all available with Teams AI library, which again we will be playing a bit more. There were some demos from a few companies in Meltwater, Hexagon, Microsoft Designer. You can find them online. I won't be showing them here, but they looked pretty decent and inspiring, some of them. And here in more useful links for you, GitHub library, AI UX, and so on. More or less, that was another cool day from Microsoft Build. Stay tuned. Today is the last day. And if you have any questions, let me know in the comments below. Hello everyone, today is the last day of Microsoft Build, my update, what I've done, what I've learned. First, I do advise you check Microsoft Developer on YouTube channel. They have tons of cool videos, just basically I know how they do it. A couple of hours after the talk, all of them on YouTube. So you can check by yourself, but last day I spent a couple of hours on labs, which are not recorded, so we'll share a few things. So basically, Seattle is very beautiful from the sea. After the conference, I took a boat to the West Seattle, but overall it was, I think, one of the best conferences. It was interesting, but all people made it very cool. And people I talked with from Microsoft mostly, they were like, and GitHub as well, they were like very helpful. They tried and do an extra mile. How an extra mile help you with your questions, demos, showing you stuff, connecting with you. So it does look pretty interesting. Overall, I talked to him with tons of people. The first talk I attended was like grow your business with Copilot Extension Marketplace. Overall, this talk was not only about Copilot in reality, it was about marketplaces, building extensions, selling them, promoting them partially, as well as distributing them in different surfaces. I call surfaces, but basically it's a marketplace embedded in different things, like Teams Marketplace, App Source Marketplace, and other things. And the message is more or less, here you can see this, the message is more or less clear that UI will affect all apps, new apps will come up, and of course we will be part of this wave, we have no choice. They also shared like potentially what your apps could do. It's about hand summarization, accelerate insights, streamline processes, and if you follow the link in the description, you will see tons of other demos, which are like, look, some of them look really insane, because you can start conversation with a bot or in a group chat. Then you jump and ask some nice questions about insights. It can build you graphs. So again, it depends what you build, but overall potential is pretty crazy. Another small keynote I attended was about Azure AI Studio, how you can do it, basically how it works, how you can ensure the quality. And I do recommend to check this talk as well. It's more technical. Overall, how you can plug in data, you use Azure AI Search to retrieve data, how you can plan with that studio. But not to, let's say, forget everything. I went to a couple of labs. One was exactly about this, and I will show you a small demo as well, which is very cool. But again, there are usually like few aspects for any AI bot. It's like quality, security, grounding, retrieval of data. We see like this is basically the points you will check and think about. And another cool talk before how they called labs, I attended a talk about prompting. Prompt is a kind of command line tool which allows you to easily play with, or actually like write your AI copilots with code, with text and so on. So you basically can do it from a command line, from visual code, whatever, basically from Node.js, and see results straight away. You connect it from your machine to a remote model, it runs and provides you output straight away. So it's very easy to develop, debug, version control. In this demo, Seth, basically guy from Microsoft, he showed 3 different copilots working together, which looks pretty cool. Like someone researcher check and write a blog post. And the blog post written was pretty decent, which surprised me. So it's basically, it mixes things, it's pretty damn good. So the future looks bright. And I advise you to take a look at the things. And here's a link where you can play with the stuff, use promptly and so on. Here's a quick hint about GitHub. So you see this QR code on my screen. It's valid for a free certification before they told me launch Friday Peace Pacific time. So theoretically and practically, you can jump in, sign up. I did sign up, and I straight away went to a lab which was dedicated to GitHub Advanced Security, not only to potentially get the certification, but more or less understand what are the things that we can use internally to increase our security and decrease security surface, plus also help our customers to be more secure. So overall, and it was very cool lab, because I did lab like in 20-30 minutes out of 1 hour. Play with it and so on. And then I did very cool stuff. I asked Tiago, one of DevOps architects from GitHub, comment and talk more about the stuff, which was pretty interesting. So stuff I learned, which is not recorded anywhere. Again, GitHub is basically the massive stuff. So you can buy this advanced package, I would call it, called GitHub Advanced Security, which includes code scanning, they call it code query language, secret scanning, which also like scans your commit history, plus it prevents commits from or secrets from leaking even before. Like you cannot push them. It works in CLI. We tested this stuff, and of course Dependabot everyone knows, which is included. But this is like two primary things, and code scanners are pretty interesting. You actually don't have to use GitHub Secrets Code Scanner. You also can use something else, Sneak, Codacity, there are tons of them. What surprised me, first you need an enterprise plan, which already interesting. Plus you also need to buy enterprise advanced security subscription, which is $49 on top. So theoretically the cost can skyrocket, because we currently, for example, pay only $4 per person per month. So there is a drastic change there. He also showed me like what you get when you subscribe to advanced security. As an organization security admin, you will see dashboard, which basically brings everything together, like all your repos, things, your risks all together, coverage and trends, and you can stay on top of security of your organization much easier, which is pretty nice. And of course, this stuff has APIs. Another interesting part which I checked about difference between ADO, Azure DevOps, and GitHub. He told me those are two different products. They do have different APIs, they build differently. I think it's a marketing trick to kind of tell to Azure DevOps that it's similar stuff, but it's overall it's interesting. Another two different things, so basically two different things. We'll try to integrate them in our products further. Another cool stuff, maybe to share someone know what case Azure DevOps done in .NET and GitHub and done in Go, Ruby, TypeScript, and even some services in C#, which was interesting. And the last lab I attended was about Teams and Azure AI Studio, exactly so the one we showed before. So what we've done there, which was pretty interesting, we created Azure search index with company data, and then afterwards we created a bot or Copilot, which is interesting enough, could use data from the files we provided and answered tons of interesting questions. But I was like, okay, seems all kind of artificial. So I decided to actually fit or build index of mover forward help guides, basically public our website with guides for our customers. And as you see, basically I was playing with it, build the index. I was asking questions from which are related to our guides, and it was basically providing the answers, giving you citations where it took some information from, like you see this reference. All of this you can play in a studio and so on. And then actually it's very easy. You can connect your Teams AI kit directly and more or less straight away use it in your Microsoft Teams application, which was very nice. So we have done this in less than an hour. I learned tons of stuff, connected with the team lead and PM of this team, who showed everything, asked a few questions about multi-tenancy, deployments. They laughed from me when I told them that we run our Microsoft Teams bot on AWS. Or not laughed, but they were surprised. That was an interesting conversation overall. So, and we'll apply many of those learnings from all those days in our products. But again, I do recommend you to check Microsoft Developer channel. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel. Stay tuned. All the best.